on. As usual, I am not ready. All righty, I think I'm ready, almost. Now I can see the chat. And Bat 13 was first up, of course. Why should anything be different? Although I didn't see him, but he said he posted it earlier, and I do believe probably Scotty deleted it. I've lowered my sound, so make sure my microphone sound is good. So we've got Bat 13, Correctional Officer, Scotty, Daddy Dutch, Ron, Anthony, and there is Kiki in the house. Barbecue Mama in the house. There is Maddie in the house. It is the trifecta. And of course, my man James, Colleen, it is always good to see you. Logan, what up, Tommy? And there is Wendy in the house. Made it from the groceries in time. Some bacon sandwiches. That sounds good to me. Uncle Pinks is in the house. All right, so look, we got Joe waiting in the wings, and we're gonna bring him right on. And there is Lulu from the UK. And if you have any questions from Joe, for Joe, just post them up. There is my man Judge Webb. We've got Robert. We've got a full house. And let's get Joe in. There he is.
What's up, Tommy?
How you doing, man?
Good, brother. Or do you go by something else these days? I heard, right? It's
wait,
Tommy or something like that.
Yeah, wait. There you go.
Oh, now. I see it.
There, you see it now. So I have to tell you, I was joking with Joe. I was talking to him. I was talking to him a little before we came on the air, and I says it feels like I have the upper hand tonight. For those that don't know, Joe was probably, I got a lot of friends in the barbecue, YouTube barbecue, whatever you want to call it. Joe was probably one of the first that I could think of, going back about 5 years. And it's funny because we were actually battling, and I always tell this story, we were actually battling back and forth to see who would get 10,000 subscribers first. Now, look, I'm only sitting at 70, and Joe's got over 200,000. So he won that battle. But again, I'm top dog tonight. So
you are, and I remember that, obviously when you're a young YouTube channel, you're wanting to grow and stuff. And it was neck and neck there for a while, man. It's like,
you nosed me out, I think. And I have to tell you, I'm fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's not that battle. Maybe it comes with age, where you're pissed off and you hate the person, or whatever. It doesn't matter to me, and it's never mattered to me. I'm so happy now, and always have been, that I guess that's probably the secret. I love watching some of these YouTube channels, strive and do great.
Yeah, and that's the part that I don't understand, Tommy, because I can honestly say that I know my content isn't better than your content. Like, your content is like solid, and the personality comes through the video, and it just, I don't know, man. It's like when you're out fishing, you could be fishing to somebody, and he could be catching all the fish. You could just be sitting there,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
If we're having an open conversation, and I don't know what's true, what's not true, but maybe the Spanish plays into it. Maybe African American plays into it. Maybe if you're gay plays into it. trans, maybe if you come out of the closet, Joe, and you turn yourself into
Hey.
a woman, you may get a million like that. I think a lot plays into it. Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
And we've also talked about this. So on my Facebook group, and like I said, we've talked about it. I posted the same stuff over and over for over a year, and all of a sudden, the same video that I've posted 7 times before got 5 million views in a day or two.
Wow.
Out at 7 million, and I've had 5, 6, 7 videos top 5 million. I've had pictures top. I had a picture the other day go viral. Made me as much money in a month that I make on YouTube. The picture went viral at like 10 million views in a day, and again made me just about as much money as you make on YouTube. So I guess my point is, who the hell knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we have too much. I don't know if we had that much control over it, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
It's the algorithm, man, the way it works. It's crazy.
Yeah. So everyone knows here. I'm sure everybody here knows Joe. And if anybody has any questions, like I said, pop them up. Although I always seem to fall behind. So you started the food truck. Let's start there.
Yep.
What was it? Was it a money drain? Was it tougher than you think? I mean, I know you were selling out. What do you got on that?
Well, so I started the food truck. What was it? 2 years ago? Not quite 2 years ago, and then I shut it down earlier this year for like a month and a half, maybe, and then I reopened March 1st, and with the reduced menu, because we just had our menu was just too big. I mean, we were cooking a bunch of different proteins. We had ribs, brisket. We had beef ribs, we had chicken, we had turkey, we had sausage, we had pork belly burnt ends, and then we had sides like crazy, and everything was made from scratch, and it was just too much work. So, when I reopened, I said, I'm not going to kill myself like that again. I'm just going to reduce the menu down. So we took out all the sides, and we were just going to do sandwiches and meats by the pound. And Fridays, we're selling spare ribs on Fridays, and when we reopened, things were going really good. We were selling out again every day, and it was much more profitable because there's not a whole lot of leftover food and stuff. But then it just slowed down. Summer came, and it got really hot here in El Paso. 105, 109 degrees. And summer had just started, and it's already burning hot outside. And the food truck park that I'm in, that my food truck is at, they were having some legal issues. The partners of that food truck park, the original owner had a stroke, and he had partnered up with his family, and they were supposedly embezzling all this money from him, and the state took over the property, and it was a beer barn. So it had a big old beer barn inside. You could drive through, buy beer, and drive home. And the food truck park was on the side. So when that happened, a lot of people stopped coming. It's been closed for almost a year now. So that traffic is gone. They used to do like events. They would have like a market days and stuff. Where vendors would come out and sell little knickknacks and stuff, and that would draw more people to come out. They would advertise, and all that went away, the maintenance of the park. So I think that, and the weather, and the customers not wanting to sit out there and enjoy barbecue in 100-degree weather, under an umbrella, it just wasn't going to work, man. So our business slowed down to the point where I wasn't making any more money. I was like, the work that we were putting in versus the money that was coming out just wasn't worth it for me, and it was just me and my brother. So I was having to work the food truck more, because I didn't have that cashier or employee that was helping out my brother. So I was working the food truck, and it was just too much work. And I finally said, you know what, I'm pulling the plug. I'm done. And so I ended up shutting it down. The end of last month. And I mean, it's just a tough business, and I'm never going back to it. I'm done with it.
Yeah. Now, how about a standalone brick and mortar?
So that was something that I wanted to do. Obviously that was a dream of mine to, set up a brick and mortar, and I had even ordered another 1,000-gallon pit, and that came in, and it's still there, but I've already sold it. I sold it to a gentleman up in, he is up in Seattle, I believe it is, and he's got a barbecue place up there that's doing really good. So he needs a bigger pit.
Hmm.
Um, so anyway, I ended up closing it down, and I'm not reopening. And the brick and mortar was in the plan, but because sales were obviously slowed down, I just decided to kind of X that and say, forget it. I'm not even going to jump into it. It would have been easier because remember everything we were cooking in that food truck, every single thing, our mac and cheese from scratch, our beans, our cornbread, we're baking it, banana pudding, everything was done in that food truck. So um, had I started it in a brick and mortar, I could have. I think it would have been better. You
Hmm.
know, and I don't want this. I don't want people to feel sorry for me or anything like that. I was living a dream, and I was chasing a dream, I should say, and I accomplished a lot in that year and 3 quarters that we were open.
Hmm.
um, we accomplished a lot. We made it on Texas Monthly's top 25 new barbecue joints in Texas, and that's huge. Texas
Yeah, yeah, I
Monthly.
saw that.
So they had written, I think they wrote 3 or 4 stories on my business on Texas Monthly, and then that one was the top 25. We made the top 25 list, and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And I had other interviews with magazines, and I made the front page of the local newspaper, and
Mm.
you know things were things were
Moving.
going good. And I know that for everybody on the outside looking in, they may say, oh, well, Joel's happy, he's selling out, like you mentioned earlier, things look like they're going great. I'll tell you right now, man, it's a tough business, but on the surface, when the way I present myself to the customers and to on social media, I can't play victim. I can't say, hey man, I'm struggling. I don't want to do that. And there have been people that say, hey, our business is struggling, and they get busy for a little bit, and then it goes back to the same old same old. I
Hmm.
didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that guy. And I think, and I'm not making excuses, but the economy and the inflation has a lot to do with it, man. It
Well, of
was
course. I'm guessing you saw your
ridiculous.
bris- I'm guessing you saw your brisket prices in a year and a half probably go up 10, 20%.
Easily. And that's one of the things, that's one of our highest selling items. um but towards the end there, I had to jack my pricing up. I
Yeah.
had to, because I'm not doing it just to exchange money. I've got to make some kind of money, and
Yeah.
it's tough. It's a tough, like Mama G says, man, it's a tough gig.
It is a tough gig. I mean,
Yep.
look, I watched, I never talk about this end of it. I only talk about all the good. But I basically watched my mother. She lost, she ended up losing the restaurant that I grew up in. It happens. The, for her, the corporate houses took over. The Fridays and Bennigan's and Lone Star. Not Lone Stars because they weren't around yet. Maybe they were. I don't know. But the corporate houses come in. They
Yeah.
can withstand losses
Yeah.
because they've got the money to ride it out. Mom and pops, they don't have it. That's why you don't see in Jersey anyway. You don't see that many. They're around maybe in an Italian house, but to run a mom and pop steakhouse, which is going to be your top of the line stuff, is very hard to do, man. Very hard.
Yeah. A
You know,
steakhouse is, you know, that's right up there with barbecue, man, because meat is expensive.
very.
The sides, I mean, depends. Obviously I was using real cheese, real cheddar cheese and real mozzarella, not Velveeta, anything like that. And I'm using milk, and I'm, you know, it's all real ingredients made from scratch.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, and Kiki, appreciate it. Um, so I think that's what makes it expensive. There is a cheaper route. There are
Sure.
cheaper alternatives to get to where I'm going, but the experience isn't going to be the same.
Yeah.
And I'll also say this, that not every customer was complaining about the price either. I had some really loyal customers that they didn't care what the price was. If I had it, they wanted it. If they
Yeah.
wanted 5-6 pounds of brisket, they got it, without
Yeah.
batting an eye at the price. But then there's some people that would kind of mumble under their breath. It's like, oh my God, that's $33
Yeah.
for a pound of brisket.
Look, I was just watching CJ. I don't think he's in here, but I was just watching a video he posted. Not Whatchamaburger, the In and Out, I think it was, and
Yeah.
a regular burger is like $9, and that's just for the burger. And that's California, but
Yeah.
still. So I mean, I guess that the question if we're talking here, that I have to ask,
Mhm.
because I know you retired. I know YouTube was flying when you retired. I
Mhm.
know the truck is no more. I know YouTube's not flying anymore. Very few shows is YouTube flying for. Maybe Chud. And then your big dogs like
Mhm.
Scotty. He's flying. But I have to ask the question: are
Yeah.
you going back to work?
No, man, I'm going to try not to. I'm going to put more effort in YouTube. I was making really good money on YouTube, views wise, and my videos were going viral. And I did a video a year ago, and it hit 2 million views.
Yeah.
That's a pretty damn good video. So I'm going to try to revamp my YouTube channel, and obviously the Facebook page is given a little bit, and being an ambassador for a few good companies,
Yeah.
PS Seasoning, etc. Those companies will, they'll send you a monthly check and stuff. And
Mhm. So
so,
go
yeah.
ahead. No, go
Oh
ahead.
no, the other thing I didn't mention was I also, I'm spreading my wings a little bit. I'm a manufacturer rep for Smokin Pecan now too. So,
Okay.
I've been using that pellet for a while, and I love that pellet.
Mhm.
And so, I have my previous experience with O'Reilly. I was in sales, so my target customer is going to be the online stores that sell pellets, and
Mhm.
barbecue stores, and try to get them to buy our pellets and
Yeah. So
pallets.
I'm actually doing a video for them. I think
Nice.
Tuesday. So with the Masterbuild XT, which is really, I mean, look, there's a lot of smoke and pecan pellet users,
Hmm.
but there's not any. So the Masterbuild XT is where I belong with them.
Nice.
Um, so and as you know, because you hooked me up with them. So
Yeah. There's a lot of people that I got in touch with. Smoking Pecan, and you and CJ, and I mean, there's several YouTube accounts
yeah.
that. And if anybody out there has a channel, if you need a sample box or whatever, get a hold of me, and I'll get one out to you. But
Okay.
yeah,
So I have to tell you again, because we spoke about this. So Facebook is really where you want to go.
yeah.
The money in Facebook is outpacing YouTube by a lot of fold.
Hmm.
Um, and we've spoke about this off air. And if you want to get further into it off air, just give me a call. The performance bonus money alone on posting pictures. If you see the pictures I post on my Facebook page, I do three, 4 a day. That alone is outpacing my YouTube channel.
That's
So
crazy.
just throwing that out there for you, because you never know, man. You just got to keep pounding it.
Yeah, you got to go where the social media game has changed, man. I know there's a lot of people in the
Big
chat
time.
and listening to this. The social media game is changing before our eyes, man. And if you're not changing or going to the platforms that are gonna um, be better for you financially, man, you're gonna fall behind. You're gonna be the last man standing. And the Titanic is sinking, and you're trying to hold on to that door so you don't drown.
You
I
know,
think you just got to go, and if you're saying that Facebook is where it's at, that's where it's at. I know TikTok does really well too.
Yeah.
Um,
I would not want to start a YouTube channel up now.
oh no.
It's the days of like Troy and Ballistic when they first started. Um, they didn't they well, you could break it up into a few different groups. So when they started, they may have got the views back then. I don't know how it paid back then, but then kind of when we came along, we've got the views, but then we picked up a lot of manufactured work from pit companies, and
Yeah.
I don't think they had that back then.
No, and I think
So
the best thing to happen to us, Tommy, unfortunately, was COVID.
I agree.
When
Put me into retirement.
yeah, yeah, and I wanted to follow your footsteps, and I said I'm going to retire too. Now,
There you go,
but
man.
what's happening? I mean, you know this as well as I do. I mean, COVID, you couldn't order from your favorite restaurant because they were all shut down, right?
Wow.
And this and COVID obviously was a very tough situation for a lot, and myself included. And a lot of lives were lost, etc. But a lot of good came out of that too. That's when DoorDash and all these online ordering platforms really took off as well, because now the restaurants started to open up, but you still couldn't eat there, but you can actually order curbside or you can order it to go. So I mean, and those guys are not slowing down. All these, food delivery services, and now even grocery stores, you can get your groceries delivered, which is crazy. I mean, my wife does it all the time. I think it's crazy, but I think COVID was the best thing to happen for a lot of YouTubers, and we were right in the middle of it. Your channel, my channel.
Not to mention YouTubers, but in Jersey, you can land 100,000 job, 100. So you right out of college, for the kids out of college, as long as you're in business, business and nursing, but business, I know you can land $100,000 job and not leave your house.
Yeah.
It's all work from home
Yeah.
now, which think about that. That to me is friggin' mind boggling, because
Yeah.
who would have thought I could have tried to bet anybody 10 years ago that in the future, you're not even going to leave your house anymore to work. And nobody would have took that bet, because the corporate world, it was fast paced. It was, but now it's home. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's things are changing. Times are changing
Yeah.
for sure. But I mean,
And
unless I know you mentioned earlier, hey, are you going to go back to work? I mean, that's not the plan, but I got to do what I got to do.
yeah.
I did. Obviously, when I worked at O'Reilly, I invested my money into O'Reilly, and I'm still investing in O'Reilly, so that's doing really well.
Mhm.
In the stock market. So I mean, I could like retire, and not do anything, and live happily ever after, I guess. But
Yeah.
I've got expensive hobbies and habits, so
Yeah.
I gotta work still.
I hear you. The going back to COVID real quick. So that was the best month that my YouTube channel ever had, was during COVID, and I could tell you it was like about 3,800 for the month. And I looked at my wife and said, "I'm retiring. I'm
Yeah,
done. I'm going to do this full time." And it's been down ever since. I mean, seriously, from the 36, 38 or whatever it was, and it's 36, then it was 34, then it was 32, 28, riding straight down. And actually over the past couple of months, it's going down again.
yeah,
And we're talking, we're talking down.
yeah. I
For
think
Facebook, I would be, well, I shouldn't say that because I'm retired now and Social Security and stuff. But if it wasn't for Facebook, who knows?
yeah,
Is basically how I would leave that there.
yeah. It definitely is tough, man. But like if I were to ask you, would you go back to work? You'd probably be like, nah,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put more on the gas pedal, and that's what I got to do for myself,
yeah,
because I'm still doing pretty good on YouTube, and I haven't really put that out that many videos. And
yeah.
I want to get back to where I was at before, because
Yeah,
that 1 year that I retired from O'Reilly, I actually made more on YouTube and
yeah,
than I did at my corporate job, and I had a good paying corporate
crazy.
job.
I mean, I know
So
you haven't, obviously you're not watching the show every week, but it's funny you said put the pedal on the gas. I've been talking. I'm very open on here
yeah.
on the show, so I've been openly talking about this. Quite frankly, I made too much money
Hmm.
a couple months back. I am taking my foot off the gas. I am trying to slow this thing down.
Hmm.
Um, I don't need to make as much money as I made. I don't want to make as much money as I made because it's just going to open up. I'm not 40 years old,
Yeah.
where I'm just, going for it. I'm not in that spot. So,
Hmm.
it's because it's just going to open up a whole epiphany of everything,
Yeah.
at the end of the year. So I'm actually trying to back it down.
Hmm.
Now, I still going to back it down to well over what I was making when I was working. And
Hmm.
of course, my wife works, and she works for a top law firm,
Hmm.
immigration law. Not your buddies who were coming over the border over there. Not
Hmm.
those people. Corporate immigration law, and
Yeah.
with COVID and stuff, so they move Fortune 500 bosses around the world, and that's a lot of paperwork.
Hmm.
Because they got to move them quick. I mean, Hewlett Packard pays like 3 million a month, 3 million a month just to do this. So
Wow.
that's the kind of business that is.
Yeah.
All these corporations, 500 companies, they move their CEOs around the world. It's
Hmm.
just a lot of paperwork
Right.
today. So it is what it is. But to go back and to put a pin in it, I would not want to be starting a YouTube channel, now, um,
Yeah.
because it ain't the same when we started. And I do think if you can get back to that, what were you doing when you were in the heights? Were you two videos a week?
No, I was actually one a week, but I was very consistent. And I was so
I know you had a back and forth with Chud for a while. I remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. Brad and I were like, so Brad was obviously one of the newer channels on YouTube, and he and I were going back and forth, and it's like it was a battle to let's see who hits 200,000 first, and I beat him to it. And we were just neck and neck. Like he was growing, I was growing as fast as he was, and he was growing as fast as I was. But then he got some wind in his sail, and he just took off. And I can tell you right now that there's no secret to YouTube. Um, it's just hard work, and he's putting out two
Oh
videos. He still does two videos a week.
That dude's a
Um,
beast. He's a beast. I'd be
yeah,
the first. I'd be the first to admit, man, that dude's a beast.
yeah,
I wouldn't even. Would have no interest doing the work that he puts in. As far as he scratch everything, man. If he
hmm,
makes up burgers, he's going to make up the roll. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
he has he's got a drive, man. Plus, he builds pits. I'd be the first one to say, man, that he's a friggin' beast, man. He's probably, he may not garner the views as what's that guy's name who does the cooking? The big
Guga,
dog, the biggest. Who?
Guga.
Yeah, he may not top him because Guga is well produced by at this point.
Oh yeah,
But I'll tell you, man, that Chud's got some drive, man.
yeah. My channel when I left my corporate job and I was making good money on YouTube, I actually could have hired a full-time camera guy
Yeah.
just to record my video and pay him. I was making that much
Now he
money on
doesn't
YouTube.
have a full time camera guy, does he?
Not that I
I
know
don't
of.
think
He's still
so.
doing
Yeah,
it himself. He does a good
yeah,
job of editing. He
yeah.
edits his own stuff.
And I
But
wonder if his wife edits.
I don't know. I think he does it himself.
Yeah,
But I could be wrong. I mean, he may have
yeah.
hired her to do that. But the thing about YouTube, man, is that you've gotta do things that have not been done. For example, I'm releasing a video on Tuesday that has never been done on YouTube, and it involves a brisket, and it just hasn't been done, and people want to see that.
Got it.
They want to see things. You gotta think outside the box. You think about
Got it.
accounts like Guga. He's putting uh he melts butter and
Oh my God.
puts a steak in it for 3 months, and then he takes it out and cooks it.
And people watch. I mean, look,
Bro, yeah, they
no
eat that
no
up.
offense to Guga, trust me, because the dude's a genius. But I
Yeah.
couldn't sit down and watch that stuff as a culinary person. Um, I can't take any of that shit seriously. And
Yeah,
I can't even waste my time watching it. But that said, he gets 100,000 views in 10 minutes. It's friggin'
bro.
mind-boggling that there's 100,000 people that want to watch that stuff. Like he
Yeah,
encased the steak in salt for a year.
yeah,
It's like, but who am I to judge? I mean,
yeah. So
I'm a
I've got,
peanut for that guy.
yeah, I've got a list of videos that I'm gonna, that are outside the box, that
Hmm.
are outside of my norm, but that are gonna be recipes that are edible. They're not gonna be. It's not gonna be something you have to throw in the trash, because I'm just,
Yeah,
trying things out. I know it's gonna be good. It's just not something that a lot of people are doing, and I think that when I was getting creative with the sausage recipes, everything that could go on into a sausage, I was trying to make it, from Mexican food to pizza sausages. I was making a video on those sausage videos, and it's just, if people haven't seen that stuff before, they're kind of drawn to that.
yeah,
So you hit the algorithm, and YouTube, pays you. They're like, hey man, there's a lot of people watching this, so it
yeah.
starts feeding that video to more and more people. So
So Wendy brought up a question before, that we were talking. So I never got it up because you were rolling on this sausage videos, and I even mentioned to you a couple times, as Wendy just said in a comment. Have you ever thought about selling it, shipping it, selling it, sausage?
no, I haven't. It's a lot of work. I mean, that can be a
I
lot of
know
work. You
people
know.
someone gets sick, or got to
Oh
have
yeah,
insurance.
yeah. My cousin owns a sausage shop here in town, and he told me that he has actually shipped to people. Because people call him and say, "Hey, can you ship me some?" And he has shipped them. So that'd be the only way. And he's set up in a really small place, man. I mean, tiny little sausage shop. You think
Mhm.
it's probably where he's at. He's maybe 700 square feet, but all it is refrigerators and sausage making equipment.
And all he does is make sausage.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
know a company wanted me to send me out stuff and sausage, and I took a pass on it. And I don't have the patience for that stuff. I'd be whipping that stuff against the wall, man, when those casings ripped apart in the water and stuff. Forget it.
Yeah,
I have a hard enough time now, keeping everything in order, keeping everything clean, this, that, and the
yeah,
other. Throw a pit
yeah,
of. I'm not the I can cook. Well, you got to remember. So I, grew up in the restaurant business, and I always had Dominicans under me.
yeah,
And those guys work. Those guys clean. Those guys do potatoes. Those guys peel a bag of 100 onions. And they do it a lot better and quicker than I do.
yeah,
So that carried over to my latter years, where after I do a show, man, the friggin' disaster. And that was part of my burnout. That was part of, I don't want to say burnout, but just cutting back on what I was doing, because it was just too much. Not,
hmm,
not that I ever stopped having fun, but again, the money pushed me to work harder, pushed me to say, this is too much. I got to clean this shit up now.
yeah,
And then I got to edit. Then I got to this. It was nonstop. I was on the computer 4 in the morning, quick run to the gym, back home, and then on the computer till 5, 6 at night. And on Saturdays and Sundays.
yeah,
Because I got a little bit caught up into the money for
yeah.
a brief week.
And that's probably the thing that I miss the most. Is a little bit of freedom. When you own a restaurant or a food business, you're running a food business, you have no time, man. You have no life.
Even if
It's,
it's 3, 4 days a week, you don't.
yes, yes, because there's so much prep. you have to prepare yourself. You're dead tired on Sunday from working, those 3 straight days, standing up all day. And so you just rest Sunday. So there goes your Sunday. And then Monday, well, it's Monday. And Tuesday, you start trimming and getting everything ready and going to buy the paper towels and everything else you're going to need. And then Wednesday you're cooking, Thursday you're open, Friday, Saturday, and then your week just repeats every single week, and it's the same thing. And you have no life. Like if we want to go on vacation, we couldn't go on vacation. Like I was married to that food truck, and I said, nah, that's it. I want my life back.
Yeah. I always said I don't, even though I got to file taxes and I definitely make really, really good money. I don't want this to turn into a business, even though I know it is,
Yeah.
I just don't want it to turn into a business. I don't want, I just don't want to do that. I just want to cook and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching this dude on this chat. I don't know what he's trying to say.
Yeah. Do you have mods? Somebody needs to block him.
I think I got Wendy there, maybe
Scotty.
I forget. But anyway, so it's YouTube and this kind of stuff is always just about having fun. It always was. It always is. If I was a young chap, thanks, Wendy. If I was a young chat, 35, 40, it may be a different story, but look, I'm traveling, I'm meeting CJ, I'm going out with the girls. I don't mean that figuratively, but I'm going out.
I don't know. They are calling you Hot Tommy, man. I mean, I don't know what's going on there.
What happens in Connecticut stays in Connecticut. So I mean, I'm, Houston, I'm sorry I didn't get down to see you, but it was a little bit too far of a drive. So that's what I want to do. I don't want to work 6-7 days a week. I want to do some striper fishing coming up. I like to go wash my truck and drive around and
and that's what I want to do, man. I can go down to, if there's a meetup in Austin or Houston or San Antonio, wherever, I can go now. I don't have anything holding me back, but I do have to make sure I have a video recorded for that week and release it if I'm there, if it happens to be on a Tuesday or whatever. So it's just, it's just enjoying life, working a little bit, and YouTube does provide a good platform. It's still not what it used to be, but maybe I'm going to give it my all in, and I'm going to see if I can get it back to where it was at before,
it's for me, it's still fun as hell. Yeah. It is still fun as hell. Tomorrow I've got 2 edits to finish. And then Tuesday I'm going to do a flat for Smokin Pecan or Pecan or whatever you pronounce it. And then I'll edit that for the next day or 2. Maybe I'll do another Cook Friday. So I'm slowed the train down, but I'm still staying busy and that's and still having fun, man. I could see it. Because I could see it with some other channels that have dropped off, that you can see in the videos that it's just a struggle. And when you stop having fun doing YouTube cooking videos, you can't do it, man. You can't fake your way through it, man.
No, the last video, it's funny you say that last video I did, what was the barbecue chicken? I think it was. No. Oh hell, I don't even know what it is now, what it was, but I think it was barbecue chicken. I had so much fun with that, and because it was so darn good and simple that it was a basic cook, No, it wasn't. It was the Lone Star Grills video. But the one before that, I had so much fun with that, and the Lone Star video was pretty cool too, but I don't have that pressure of work behind me, so I can put a little bit more into the video, a little bit more energy or some comedy or whatever, and there's little comedies in my videos. You just have to pay attention. But that's what I'm going to do, man.
So that's going to lead me into the question, Yoder, Lone Star.
Go
ahead.
So Yeah, so obviously that, just like we're talking about, it involves, we work hard for what we do for YouTube, and I want to get paid. I want to get paid. And I've said this before in other chats that, anybody that does a video for a company, you better be getting paid.
Mhm.
Don't do this stuff for free, because that's going to live on YouTube forever,
Yeah,
and you're advertising for these companies for free. And yes, they'll send you a free smoker, blah blah blah,
yeah.
but you got to get paid. And
Got it.
I'm not going to say anything bad about Yoder, because I was a partner for them or with them for many many years, and their smokers are great. But it was time to pay up, and I didn't like the deal, so I'm moving on. I'm like, man, this is how you're going to treat somebody that has been with you for so many years. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm out, and let's
you
just
were
be
Mr.
friends.
Yoder.
Yeah, I was everybody that knew anything Yoder. I was the guy that
You
they
and
would.
you and that one other guy. I forget his name.
There
Yeah.
was, there was several people that had Yoder, but who was it?
The guy, Mr. Yoder, the guy who works for Yoder. Tom, is that his name?
Oh, Chef Tom.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy who
Yeah,
always
yeah,
has the Yoder cooks.
yeah. That's well, that's actually owned by Yoder Smokers, All Things Barbecue.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's their chef.
yeah.
But um, I was just like, I want to make money, man, and I've got to move on. And so I ended up selling all my Yoder smokers, every last ounce of them.
Yeah.
They're all gone, and part of that I wanted my backyard back too.
I'm right with you, man. I am
Dude,
right with you. I sold everything. I
yeah,
sold everything. If and I've talked about this on the show. If you ain't paying me, then I'm not cooking on your grill.
yeah,
Now, obviously, Lone Star, I don't get paid from them, and Masterbuilt, I don't get paid from them. That's fine. But everyone else, um, Z
hmm
Grills, and just the products that I use on the show is just where it's at. That's how you're going to make money now.
yeah.
But you just got to choose the right product. The good product. Um, as far as like the pellets, whatever it
Oh
is.
yeah, yeah.
But can you talk a little bit about Lone Star and Yoder? You've used the Lone Star a few times, I think. People
Just
have commented that
yeah.
it outsmokes. I don't know flavor wise, but the smoking of the Lone Star is just second to none.
It is, and not just that, Tommy. The smoke. So, like I mentioned in that video, I had been eyeing the Lone Star for 3 years, at least 3 years. Russ Jones had done a few videos on the Lone Star Smoker, and I thought he was, just BSing, making the Lone Star look good because of the amount of smoke and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, right. But then I was like, wait a minute, that thing is smoking like crazy.
Crazy.
And he says that it had a really good offset flavor to it. And Russ is a great guy. Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
going to say one bad thing about him, but I was like, I was second guessing or questioning that. I was like, is it really that? I was like, come on, being a Yoder guy, I had my Yoder cap on. I was like, there's no way, man. This Yoder runs circles around the Lone Star. There's no
Yeah.
way. Just being a proud Yoder ambassador, right?
Mhm.
And again, I never had any problems with Yoder, but boy, let me tell you, man, I was wrong.
Yeah.
That thing, and I was just seasoning the smoker on that last video. I have since cooked a brisket on it. That video will be released on Tuesday. But man, Tommy, and it's not just the smoke flavor. Um, it's the functionality of that smoker is insane.
Mhm.
The minute I open the door, the controller takes over and it immediately starts feeding pellets. And just the amount of things that you can do on that smoker versus like the Yoder. The Yoder had similar functions, but this thing is ridiculous.
They've not updated the Yoder in a while. Is that
They
correct?
haven't.
The
They
YS 640, ain't it?
they haven't updated in a while. You can put 6 probes on this thing. Um, you can cold smoke cheese. You can, um,
Pizza oven.
Yeah, the pizza oven, the charcoal, which I don't need any of that pizza oven stuff and the
Yeah.
charcoal grill that you can grill on that. I want it as a pellet smoker because that thing is a hell of a pellet smoker, man. It
Mhm.
is probably the best one in the market, and because I thought I was using the best. I really did think I was using the best because I was a proud Yoda ambassador. But when I fired this thing up, I was like, holy cow, man!
Yeah.
You can just tell the way it operates. It's just a much better pellet smoker for sure.
Is Yoder made in the U.S.?
Yes, 100%. There are some pieces that might come from overseas, um, but it's all welded, handmade here in the U.S.
Okay.
100%. I mean, there might be some small pieces like I know the pail that catches the grease. That's got a big made in China sticker on the bottom of it.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and that's why I was like, what the heck? But as far as everything else, it's all made here in the U.S.
So what do you got now? You've got the Lone Star.
Yep.
What else?
So I've got the Lone Star. I've got, as far as pellet smokers, that's it. That's my only pellet
Everything,
smoker.
anything,
Yeah.
all smokers.
Yeah. I've got my Bison backyard pit, my Bison Red Dog, which is an amazing pit. I've got 3 Weber kettles. I've got my pit barrel cooker that I've had for many, many years. I've got the El Charro rotisserie. And then I've got, what else do I've got? Oh, I've got a Grilla Grills Kamado Joe cooker. That thing's a beast too.
Mhm.
I've got the Grilla Grills gas grill too that I haven't even used. It's back. It's in my backyard. It's covered, and I haven't even used it. And that's it, man. I've got, what else do I have? That's it, man. I've got
So you
I've
still
got
got
my,
a bunch. It sounds like you still got a bunch of grills.
yeah, but not, dude, not what I had compared to what I had before. I had the Yoda Frontiersman. That thing took up a bunch of space. I
Oh
had
my
the
God,
640.
that was a good looking grill. I'll
Yeah.
give Yoder that, man. They make a good looking pit, man.
Oh yeah. So I had the Yoder Frontiersman, the YS640, the YS 1500, and then I had the Yoder flat top charcoal grill. Um, and those things are not small. They were all on competition carts, every single one of them. So they took up a bunch of space.
Troy
So,
says, don't forget your chud box.
oh yeah, that chud box is back there too. I forgot about that.
How is that?
Dude, that thing is crazy, man. That's one thing that I won't. So there's going to be a few pits that I never, ever, ever sell.
Mhm.
It's going to be the chud box, and I'm not a paid sponsor of his or none of that. But Bradley, if you're
Mhm.
listening, send a check my way.
He ain't listening, man.
Hey, you never know, man. Hey,
No.
Brad sits there in the background and doesn't say anything. The Lone Star pellet smoker, that thing is a beast. And then
Yeah.
my the Bison Red Dog. Everything else is subject to be sold, but those 3 right there. Oh, and my Weber kettles. Those are never ever going to get sold. Everything
Yeah.
else could go bye
You
bye.
know, I was talking to Scotty. Well, I talked to him offline, and if I wasn't into YouTube and I was just probably doing this, I may only have a Weber kettle in the backyard. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I never had a pellet grill till I started this YouTube thing. It was always
Yeah.
Weber
Hmm.
Weber kettle, the performer kettle with the cart, and
Hmm.
a gasser, a Weber gasser. So I
Hmm.
don't even know if I would have a pellet grill if it wasn't for this YouTube thing. And I certainly, I was just talking to someone else about this. I would never lay, and this is just me, okay, but I would never lay out 3,000 for a grill. Just
No.
me, just me talking, because I
Yeah.
would just always say that I will get the same food, and just as a backyard cooker, I would get the same food on a kettle than I would on a $3,000 pellet grill on a Weber
Yeah.
kettle. You
Yeah.
know,
There is one pit that I'd like to get in. It's a Lone Star. It's their vertical box that they sell, but not the pellet one. That I want the wood fired one.
well, I can tell you with Chris, once you're in, you're
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Once you're in, you're in.
yeah.
If you
That's
want it,
one that I want.
you'll get it.
Yeah, and he's a good guy, man. I've
Yeah,
talked to him
he's a
several
good
times.
guy.
Yeah,
I never really ask anybody for pits, but I asked him for the pellet grill. after I got the offset, and he said he's just not doing it now. And I said, that's fine. Just keep me in mind. And about 6 months later, he emailed me and said, "You still want that pellet grill?" And I said, "Yeah." Like I said, once you're in, and I got that sucker right on the back porch. I probably cook with that off film more than any other pit, obviously. The pellet, because it's so damn easy to work, man. All you got to do is empty that ash before every cook, and just fire it up.
Dude, I love that on the Lone Star you can pull that box out from the bottom and dump out the ash. Now you still have a little bit of ash on the inside you can vacuum up, but having that is so darn neat, man. It's like they really thought about this thing, man. They just didn't.
They did
weld it together.
Actually, I was watching. I don't even know if I commented on the video or not.
No,
I was watching your Lone Star pellet grill video, and you put a nice tip in there that I'm going to do, and that's to keep that valve open.
Yeah.
Put a bucket under there. So, or, you could use a little Pit Boss tin bucket, because so the grease will just continue to pour out instead of letting it build up in the, in the chamber, I guess it would be called. So that was so I did watch that video. So that was a nice tip, which I did.
So somebody commented that, hey, I would recommend that you close that valve because, you get unnecessary airflow through there. I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing the way I look at it. So they're trying to mimic that offset flavor on a pellet smoker. My offset, my 1,000-gallon, both of them, I keep the drain open, all 2 drains, and it's not that much air that's going to go in. The ball valve is not that big where it's a big gaping hole in the bottom of the smoker. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit of airflow, but you got to remember there's that chamber is under a little bit of pressure and heat, so you're going to get some escape, not so much air going in. It's not like it's under vacuum or anything.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I never looked too deep into it, but
no, that's too deep. Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, it's just, and at the end, it's just a friggin' piece of pork, on a grill, or a brisket. But BD Barbecue Experience, do you have any information or an opinion on old country pits?
Yeah, so I actually did a couple of videos on their new pit that they released, the G2, and that's a heck of a smoker too. It's got an insulated firebox, and that thing cooks like a beast too. But I just did 2 videos. They paid me to do those videos, and I sold it. But again, you'll rarely hear me talk smack about a company out there. But it's not good business to do that.
No.
Where is it at tier wise? I think it's probably the best entry level pit that's out there. I can honestly say that, because it's good material, and it cooked really well. I didn't have any.
I was talking to Scotty a little bit offline about that. That we have to choose our words carefully, because we're not out to destroy companies. And you'd be surprised the hurt that you could put on a company. And the thing to keep in mind is that everybody's opinion is different. So just because Joe says Old County or Joe Schmo's pits are crap, doesn't mean Peter in Florida doesn't love it. You know what I mean? So we're never the end all of anything.
No.
So if you hate something that much, and I do get sent a lot of stuff to the channel that never goes on the channel, because I just can't. Some company sent me this friggin' drop-in burner so I can do some sauteing out in the shack, and it was total garbage, man. Total garbage. And I emailed them and said, "Look, this is in my garage. You can either send me a UPS label or I'm throwing it out." And I didn't hear back from them. Because you just don't want to go on air and say that blah blah blah, this is garbage. Just don't put it on air. That's the way I think, man.
So
like Tyrone with a real quick, Tyrone with a super sticker chat.
Brother T, man, how you doing, brother?
Yeah. We actually we mentioned Chud not being here, and the next best thing popped in, and that is Tyrone, who I did speak to on the phone once or twice a little while back. So it is
Yeah,
definitely good to see him. But
he's
go
a
ahead.
great human being, man.
Yeah,
Great ambassador to barbecue for sure.
definitely.
But you know, I'd mentioned you're talking about the smokers that my opinion might not be the same as everybody else's.
Yeah,
You know, there's one smoker, the Oklahoma Joe, I think it was, and the reason I got it was because Cooking with Rye had one, and he loves his. I'm sure
is
he
that
still
the
has it.
pellet grill?
No, it was just a wood burning offset,
Okay.
but I didn't like it. I didn't have any. I cooked once on it and I sold it the very next day.
Yeah.
And I only bought it because of Rye, and I bought it because it was on sale. But I ended up selling it. So, you know, but Rye loves his Oklahoma Joe, you know, and it's just not one that was right for me.
Yeah.
But
Um, that happened kind of with me with the Tahoma 900.
yeah,
Scotty loves it. And I thought they came so close, but they just didn't do it for me,
yeah,
especially when you put it next to the master builds. But I talked good of it and then just sold it. See, Scotty he loves his 900, but
yeah,
because it just wasn't for me. That doesn't mean
mhm,
it's a piece of crap. It
yeah,
just wasn't for me,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So we always got to be careful, because people don't realize that we do have great pull in this business. Even though we're such small potatoes, it doesn't matter, because once you say something is crap, that gets out there and can fester to many people.
mhm.
Many
Oh,
people.
and I've done videos, Tommy, where a company has sent me something, and you know, in that video, I promote their product, and I just tell them, you know what, man, I cannot release this video.
Yeah,
If you want this back, send me a shipping label, and it's going back to you, or it's going to the trash, like you mentioned earlier. I would rather communicate with them and the things that I didn't like about that product than to release a video and hurt that company. And I
yeah,
think that, and they would appreciate me, you know, being honest with them instead of, you know, promoting a video or promoting a product, a sponsor for that video, and that product just being crap. And it, you know, you buy it because you saw it on my channel, and you're like, Joe, this thing is garbage. And I'll be like, yeah, Tommy, I lied in that video. It's just so it was, you know, to help
yeah.
the company. I don't do that, man. So if I
I'm
use
working.
it and I say it's good, you know.
Yeah, I'm working with a rub company. Scotty's actually working with them too now. But
Uh-huh.
I make sure I tell people, because for me, it's heavily on the salt, but it plays so well with beef that it's so friggin' good. But I always tell people to relax when you put it on, and, and because it's heavy on the salt,
Yeah.
and because I don't want people to buy it, which a lot have, and then pour it on. So we always got to try to be honest with our viewers, because I have viewers that, as well as you do, and as well as most YouTubers or all YouTubers, have they want to support by purchasing
Mm-hmm.
what we use on the channel. So
Which
honestly,
rub? What rub is that, Tommy?
this dusted right here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a steak. It's more for steak burger, but I have been using it on a lot of other things in my recipes, because I'm more recipe oriented. So since this is salt heavy, I'll remove the salt from the recipe, and I'll put this in there next. And it's got some charcoal activated. It's 4 ingredients, but it's good stuff, man. It's good
I like
stuff.
that activated charcoal rub, man. A lot of them are really good.
Yeah. So like I said, always honesty is the best policy. And look,
Yeah,
that's that.
I've seen you season your meat sometimes. I mean, you season just as bad as I do. Like, I think in our past lives, both of us were Cajun because we season the heck out of it. Like, we'll finish half a bottle on a piece
You
of
know,
meat.
that's probably, as a 40-year smoker, uh, that does something to your taste buds. And I'm sure That probably has a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah.
I thank God that I friggin' don't smoke cigarettes anymore, man. I don't I don't judge, man, but I don't know how anybody could start smoking cigarettes today, man. I think it's $12 a pack now here in Jersey.
That's crazy.
Um, I seen some lady in her car. She had her windows rolled up and she was smoking on a big cigarette. And man, that car must stink. Again, I don't judge. 40, probably maybe longer smoker.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know that
Hey.
I'm getting the benefits of quitting. I wish I would have quit younger, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Mm.
I do get tired easy, so there definitely was some damage. I brought this up on another show, and I think it is worth mentioning. If anybody has smoked cigarettes and they quit smoking, you are owed a free lung scan. Okay,
Oh wow.
so they should check into that. I think it's free. I think it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everyone usually has hospital, has medical anyway, but you don't have to go through the hoops. You don't have to have a problem to get the lung scan. And
Yeah.
of course, I got one, and they did find a little thing on my lungs, and it'll be watched every year. So it's worth for any non ex-smokers out there to look into that with their insurance company. It'll get scanned
Mm.
because detection early with lung cancer is definitely a lifesaver.
Right.
So,
I got really close to going up to New York, Tommy, and like really close because my daughter just came back a few weeks ago, and I'm the treasurer for her orchestra and mariachi. And they took a trip. It was a student trip up there to New York, and I was like, man, I should just go. I mean, I can hang out with Tommy for a few days.
yeah. Well, I was, my buddy Neil from Flat Top King went to New
Uh-huh.
York. He reached out, but I was already booked out to go. I think I was going to meet the girls,
Ah.
uh, so I couldn't meet him. But hey, if you ever make it to the city, definitely look me up for sure.
How
Look
far
me
are
up.
you from New York?
Um, about an hour. Quick.
Hour?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think only about an hour. I mean, I was up in Woodbridge, which was a little closer, but now I'm down in Howell. I don't think much more than an hour. Depends
okay.
on if I drive in or take the train. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, I can see the city from the shoreline.
Yeah, there's a pizza place that I follow on TikTok. Yeah, it's called Philomena's. Small little pizza joint, man. I said, if I ever go to New York, Tommy and I are gonna sit there and have a beer and drink some or eat some
Let me
pizza.
let me tell you something. You can go to any pizzeria in New York, and you'll never eat pizza like that again. They're
That's
all
crazy.
great. It all has to do with the water. Obviously,
Yeah,
we all know that. Something
yeah.
about that water in New York. You can get some good pizza in Jersey, but New York is definitely the king of the pizzas. I mean, it is friggin' everywhere, and it is pizza like you have never tasted. Period. I mean, it
Oh
is that
man,
good. Matter of
maybe one of
fact,
these
the
days.
food in New York is phenomenal. They
Yeah.
have some of the best chefs out there. I'm sure there's some barbecue places decent in New York, but the food, forget it. It's the best. It's the
Yeah.
best. And there's Weekend Warrior Mike checking in there with his love of the New York pizza.
Oh, Mike, man, I hadn't
I
seen
haven't
him in
seen him.
forever,
He
dude.
started a little. He started a little barn fire on his latest video. We were talking in the beginning about doing stuff outside the box, to try to thing. And he put out a video that he hates his pit boss, or doesn't hate it, but he put it to the curb, to the junk. His vertical. Now he probably sold hundreds of those verticals because his channel was made on them. And I was reading some of the comments, and he took a little heat for that. He
You
took a little
know,
heat for that.
I don't know why, but I don't get notifications anymore, and I'm
Now,
subscribed.
let me tell you something. I don't really get his. I don't get a lot of notifications neither. He must have released it on Facebook, or I don't know where I saw it, but I saw it. I think on Facebook. He did a quick promo, or something. I don't even remember, but I went over, I quit or something. I said, "Oh my,
Yeah. Look, I'm subscribed, Mike. I'm gonna
yeah,
unsubscribe and resubscribe, okay, just so
yeah."
I get
But
re.
I was reading some of the comments, and you're right. You got to shake it up a little bit. We were talking about that in the beginning of the show here, that you just can't do the same old, man. You got to try to, I do that on my, and then I'm going to let you go, Joe, because we're running a little bit fast. I do that on my my Facebook channel. So I posted a picture and made good money on it. Okay. Of, do you believe that we really landed on the moon in 1969? And I, with the picture and everything, because the anniversary just came, and I knew that was going to get people friggin' going bananas. And that's why I posted it. And that's exactly what happened, man. I got like, if I jumped in there, I probably got 400,000 or 500,000 hits on that alone. And, 600, 700, 800 comments and shares, people going back and forth. And that's how they pay on that performance bonus. So that just goes into what Mike did and what I did on that picture, and plenty other pictures, just to get people a little bit agitated, because people want to talk, people want to go back and forth. Nothing political. I won't go political on my Facebook page, but I'll do stuff like, favorite this, favorite that, do you really believe we walked on the moon? Stuff like that. And people love it. Yeah, they love it.
You put that on your barbecue channel?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
I put, let me just go there really quick. That's what I said. If you want to talk about off air, that's them performance bonuses.
That's
let
crazy.
me just go to that picture.
So let me ask you a moon question while you're looking that up. Do you know why the moon looks white?
No.
Why it looks lit up?
No.
All right. So there's two questions. So the reason it's lit up, obviously, because the sun is reflecting on the surface of the moon. So it looks like it's like a light bulb, right? But the reason that it looks white like that, like lit up, is because the material that the soil is made out of, whatever material it is, it's very reflective. So like a reflector on on anything, on a bicycle, you shine light on it and it reflects back white. But the thing that, and I was looking this stuff up with my daughter, but the thing that is most impressive, I think, is that moon, think about the size of the moon. We are hundreds of thousands of miles away from the moon, and we can see it. Imagine how big that sucker is.
Oh my God. It must be, because we can't see anything else.
No, you can't see Jupiter or anything else like that. I mean,
even mentioning that in here, I fired up some people in the chat about this, that, and the other with the moon. So that moon picture got like 600 over 600 views, 600 comments, and probably will make about $200 just going off the cuff. And I'll do 3-4 of those pictures a day, and just pile them on. That's what Facebook wants. They want, again, nothing political, because it is a barbecue thing, but it doesn't have to be barbecue. Some people will get pissed off and leave, but it is what it is. They just want interaction, Facebook. So that's that performance bonus.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that. I think I got a picture I want to try.
Yeah. You got to post those pictures daily, 3-4 times, and run those videos every day. And you just never know. Like I said, 7 million views in 2 days on the same video that I posted 7 other times.
That's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's crazy.
I'll take it. That's it, man. 7:10. I gave you an extra 10 minutes.
That was quick.
Yeah. It's like talking to an old buddy, man.
Yeah. Could talk forever here, man.
Do you have anything you want to close with?
No. Obviously, for those listening that are subscribed to my channel, sorry I haven't been as present as I'd like to, but things are going to change here pretty soon. And if you're not subscribed to Tommy, you better subscribe to Tommy, man. Get his channel back up to. We need to do a collaboration one of these days, Tommy. And I think
we talk about that. I would love to do a collab with you.
Let's do it, bro.
I don't think collabs hold the same water that they did.
Hey, you know
Like
why they
so
don't?
back
Because
in the
no
day,
one
we
does
did
it.
collabs to help, to
Yeah, yeah,
help
yeah.
each other grow. I'm not sure they do that anymore, but
That's,
I'm down to do one with you. We have to
I
come
got
up with something.
I got a video that we need to try.
All right,
All right,
reach out to me, man.
I will, brother,
I would love to do a collab with you for sure.
for sure, man.
We'll talk over the next couple of days. I'll shoot you a text, and
All
we
right,
can
buddy.
start diving into that.
Sounds good, man.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Be
everyone.
good. All
See
right.
ya.
All right, man. That was fun, man. Like I said, Joe is, we go pretty far back, man. He took me under his wing for sure. And there was never a bother with me that he is kicking it. And I kind of, not that I slowed down. I'm not complaining. I mean, I'll take 70,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm doing exactly what I want to do. So there's never no animosity or whatever, bad feelings. I think Mike just hit his 100,000. If he's still in here, it's all good, man. I wish everybody the best. I want to get that 100,000. And when I get that 100,000, I'll take a look at and see exactly what I want to do at that point. But all right, man, I am done talking. I've got dry mouth. Scott of Kittens over there. He's ready to go to bed. That is it, man. Next week we shall see. If anybody wants to see anybody on the show, if anybody wants to come on the show, Mike, Weekend Warrior, I don't know if you're still out there, but hey, man, I would love to have you on the show, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to reach. I don't know if he's still here, or Tyrone. I'd love to have you on the show. I don't know if he's still here. I got to get Dogfather on the show. I haven't had him on the show yet. I did almost have Troy on the show, but that kind of crapped out, and I don't want to bother him anymore. And also that Canadian chef and Heath Riles. I was talking to him for a while, but they both crapped out, and I'm not chasing anybody. It's not that big a deal. Whatever. And I got to have them and Kay back on the show. They're my favorite guests, of course. So that's it, man. I'm going to bow out of this one. And will I be here next week? We shall see. Just, I'll release something by Wednesday or Thursday if I am. And everybody have a good night, man. Everybody have a great weekend. Summer is halfway over, man. Get out there and make it happen, man. Go have some fun. Take advantage of it all. And that is it. And until next time, me and the Scott of Kitten right there will be seeing you guys soon.